Evolution MX will allow you to record budgetary information against your contracts. We have a look at an existing contract on the contract ledger. We'll be able to call up its details and see a situation where we are monitoring where its current costs are as opposed to a budget. Now that budget can be represented by any number of different budget models you may choose to have. I'm looking currently at an original estimate, but you can see I've already got 3 others that I could choose to have a look at to make a more accurate comparison. And that's showing me cost versus budget. That information can be added to quite easily within the system by doing an import from an external file, whether that's come from an estimating system or whether it just resides in Excel. It's a simple import mechanism, which I'll show you now. So returning to the menu, we go into maintenance and into budget maintenance. I'll be able to call up that same contract we were just looking at, and this time work with one of the budget headings I've not yet used on that particular contract. I've got 6 set up. There's no reason why you can't have more than that set up, and you can call them what you like. So you can then work with unlimited number of budget models. So I'm just going to use one called latest valuation. I'm going to take the option to import, at which point it's going to then ask me to browse to the file that I want to import. So I can look at where it is on my system. I'm going to find it on the desktop, and I'm going to nominate the file for import. I'll show you the source of the file in a moment, but for now, let's just do the import so that it brings the figures in. So that's it completed. It recognized the file format, which I'll look at in a second, and that can be configured to suit exactly how you want to present that information and bring it into the system. So now if we return to our contract, we'll be able to call the contract up, and added now to the list of 4 previous budgets, we've got a 5th one. So the latest valuation figure is now showing. Now it's up to you how much detail is in that budget file. So with my latest valuation, I go to the cost tab and I could then see the budget expanded to the level of detail that's provided by that file. In this case, if I go to my materials, the budget column being shown second of 16,000 hasn't been expanded upon. So everything's been put into a materials heading. However, on another budget, I might have the more detailed version available. So it still looks like 16,000 as the budget for that particular area. But if I expand into it, I'm able to now see exactly what that budget's made up from. And these codes are cost heads of your choosing. You can have as much or as little detail there, but we're expanding beyond the 16,000 so that we can see more clearly where the budget's been spent. Because at the top level, it looks okay, 10,500 of actual cost versus 16,000 worth of budget. But if we expand on that detail, we can start to see that we've actually gone over in some areas. So my patio doors code, for example, 1,200 has been spent versus a budget of only 340. So by providing that more granular detail to the budget and cost recording, we can see where potential issues might arise that could otherwise be not seen. So that information that was brought in to the budget file was from an external source. So let's just go and have a look at that externally. So the file that I used for the summary level was the file I'm just opening now. So that is telling me the bill of quantities. So as I say, this could have come from an external estimating system, or it could have resided in Excel. And it's got all level of detail expected in this bill of quantities. In my case, my column F is indicating the value of each line, and my column B is telling me where to put it in that cost head structure within inside Evolution MX. Now, on this particular example, we had 16,000, which is the sum total of everything in column F that's got MA in column B. So that gives you a broad version of what the budget is going to be. And that takes less time to put together because you're not having to painstakingly go through and put individual codes against individual lines. But it doesn't give you the granular detail. If you are able to provide that granular detail, then the second version of the file could be used. It's the same bill of quantities. It's got the same values in column F. It's just got more detail in column B. So we could there see that MABL, for example, for materials blocks has been recognized 3 times. Therefore, the system will add the 50, the 40, the 30 together to give you your 120. So that gives you a lot more detail if you're prepared and able to give it that cost head code within the column structure. Now, as I say, this is flexible. So my layout that I've got using columns A to H works because I've configured the translation file to recognize column F storing the value and column B storing the cost head. But we can work with you to make sure that that's flexible, provided we know what the format of the file is and we can work with it. we can then use your version of it, and then you just use that each time using the translation file sitting in the background. So that allows you to bring in new budgets, but also to be able to update existing ones, because against a contract, as I said before, you're able to see as many different budgets as you wish. You select the budget from the top section as to which one is going to be used for comparison. So original estimate is the figure that's being shown there. That allows you then also to be able to report not only on a single contract, but more globally overall. You could do a contract performance report, for example, which would allow you to see whichever budget or budgets you've chosen to look at. So a contract performance report designed through the analytics function here could bring you up all your contracts or a selected subset of your contracts and allow you to see the sum actual cost alongside, in this case, the original budget, but it could be the latest budget, latest valuation, whichever budgets that you've chosen to show there.